Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Moo!
Moo who?
Interrupting cow. Wait.
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
How can you possibly be bad at knock-knock jokes? You're a teacher, for God's sakes.
I teach first grade. They have never gotten that joke right.
Oh, no. First graders are fantastic because
No, you
just
tell them interrupting cow, and they don't understand that the fact that the cow shouts while you're trying to answer is why it's an interrupting cow.
Right,
They
no,
just
it's
shout
just funny.
moo and thinks it's hysterical.
Yeah, it's hilarious because you've broken some type of social contract and they don't understand why.
Moo!
That's also about the time that anything involving butts is hilarious. And then for men, that continues till age 60. So, anyhow,
And then there's a maturation
guess what-
period about 2 years, and then they start to demature at 62. So.
Right, yeah, exactly. Are you aware, Victor, that we have a State of the Union tonight that we are going to be missing because of this podcast?
No, I deny that everything governmental is happening ever.
I believe that that's happening tonight.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we're kind of curious what's going to be said in it. I'm not entirely sure, but I have a feeling that Trump might get up on the mic and say, these are two ignorant, ill-informed, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter.
Why don't I see it coming anymore?
I know. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, I'm Keith. My co-host is Victor. Victor, say hello.
Hello.
And straight from a quinceanera, we have Ginada Pinata.
Hello. Hold on, wait. You have to. Congress is applauding. You have to wait a second. Okay, give it a. All right.
So
you're
Matt
go.
Lewis, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
We also have Ken Busboy.
My man, Bussy.
Buffy?
Or Buffy.
If you're busy, why are you even here?
Yeah. Ken Busy. All right. So what do you guys think would floor you? If you get home, I'm sure, first of all, I know that you are both right now TiVoing the State of the Union so you can watch it later.
Oh
right?
my gosh, that's a dated phrase right there. I'm going to TiVo something. Shit.
I'm going to pirate it off the internet. Nobody's going to put it on the internet. Nobody cares.
I'm going to burn it onto a DVD and then watch it later.
Yeah. I'm going to use my video camera to take a picture of the TV and pirate it.
I have a scribe in a tower. He's going to be writing everything down for me.
Yes. So
on a wax tablet.
I have no doubt that you'll be going back home to your parchment and seeing what was said during the State of the Union. What would blow your mind right now? Like if he got up there and was like, hey, everybody, this is the worst Trump impression ever. What would you be like? Oh, my God. If he was, what if he was like, my dear friends, Ginada Pinata, weren't able to be here tonight, but I just wanted to shout out to them.
I think I
Would be brilliant.
I could forgive the past year if he said just about anything and spouted all this bullshit for like an hour and a half, and then he left and Steve Harvey came out and was just like, just kidding, actually
I got it wrong.
this is actually what he meant.
Right. I imagine him going up there and going, State of the Union, first runner up is Delaware. And they're like, no, that's not how it works. I know you're confused because of your Miss Universe time. It's not a competition between all the states. They're all
New
part of
York.
the union. And he's like, and the winner's New York. And you're like, no, all right. Yeah, just go on. I'm expecting him just to go up and go, and this begins the purge. And like just everyone just starts murdering each other.
It is an election year for Senate, so it would make sense.
I think all of these things would be amazing to see have happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we can predict what he says, but I know one thing: it will be tremendous.
Oh, it'll be the best ever. There'll be no State of the Union. Trust me, I know State of the Unions, and this is going to be the best State of the Union you've
Keith,
ever heard.
I don't know if you remember, but you called this years ago when he was starting his campaign for the presidency.
Sure.
You said, if by some miracle
Yeah.
he gets elected, no one is going to mess with the United States because no one's going to know what this guy is capable of. They're going to be like, well, he's picking up the red phone. Wait, he's picking up the red phone. Does he mean it? Is he actually going to do it?
Yeah.
No, he's bluffing. Is he bluffing? I honestly can't tell.
Yeah. No, he's, as much as I'm not a Trump supporter or anything, but if you just look at the rest of the world at this moment, they're all like, I'm not sure. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we should just hold off for a minute and figure out what's going on here. Because it's like when you get into a fight, right? If you get into a fight with a guy that's bigger than you, the only recourse you have is
to be
act
crazier.
really fucking crazy, right? you just start going, you want to do this? All right, let's do this. You start taking your clothes off, like, let's hug. Let's fucking hug this out. You know, and he's like,
And then give me my jacket.
yeah, and that's what we did is we hired that guy to be the president, right? So he's just like, I'm gonna put nukes in the ocean, and they're like, he might do that. I don't.
May
Why?
actually.
Why would you do that? And I don't know. Just don't piss him off. Like I don't know how we got to this point, but it literally went from one side to the other, right? Because Obama would be like, can we just talk about this? Like, maybe we
Let's
shouldn't.
be
Can
reasonable
we discuss
and
it
calm.
first? And they were like, ha ha, pussy. We're just going to grandstand and do all kinds. And Trump's like, you know what? I'm going to put nukes on the moon. And he's like, what? Is that a thing? So that's
Right.
where we're at right now.
We went from like collared, nice suits to I'm going to whip my dick out because I can.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah. I was fully expecting there was this whole thing that came out, right? Where apparently, is it Milana? Is that the wife's name? Did I get that right?
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of names.
Yeah,
I'm not
Melania.
sure. Melania.
Yeah, I think it's Melania.
Melania, one of them. She went away apparently, and then there's rumors that he banged a porn star. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I was almost disappointed because as far as I can tell, the whole story right now is like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But I fully expected him to just get up in the microphone and be like, yep,
Yeah.
fucked a porn star.
Maybe
now what?
maybe that's what's going to happen tonight.
Right,
That's what will make the State of the Union.
He's going to do the entire State of the Union. He's going to step away from the podium, and then a porn star is going to stand up from underneath the podium and walk away. And he's just going to smirk and be like,
That's right.
fucking President of the United States.
And then three dudes step out from under the podium as well. And a tiger. I don't know why.
A tiger, right? And
And then
Kim
everyone
Jong-un
stands.
comes out from underneath the podium. We are totally gonna now get hacked by North Korea because I've hinted at the fact that Kim Jong-un may have blown our president. Sorry about that, North Korea. Please continue ignoring us and killing your own people.
We
May
didn't
have.
mean it. And
We
for those who
didn't
can't
mean
see
it.
the air quotes that I'm putting up,
Yes.
I'm putting up air quotes
Yes.
because we did mean it.
We respect you a lot, whatever crappy leader name you are. So, speaking of
Crappy
the
leaders.
supreme leaders, we have the wonderful, well, half of the wonderful band of Ginada Pinata.
Ginada Pinata.
Ginada Pinata.
Vagina pinata.
I keep wanting to say.
Wow.
That's a new one. We have not heard that one
No?
in 20 years. That's pretty brilliant, actually.
Wow.
What comes out of that?
I would feel bad hitting it with a stick. I'm just saying. I mean,
Lawsuits.
yeah.
Lawsuits.
Right. Lots of lawsuits. These candies are in the shape of babies. So we have you here in studio. I'm so glad to have you on. Thank you for being part of the
Yeah,
show.
thanks for having us, man.
We've got a brand new track from a brand new album that just came out. My understanding, this is the world premiere of this particular song. So from the self-titled album, if you haven't figured out what that would be called, it's Ginada Pinata or Vagina Pinata, as Victor would like it to be. And the song is called Inner Outer.
Yeah.
Right. And so this
That
just came
sounds
out.
like a vagina song to me, honestly.
Yeah, there are two types, inner and outer vaginas.
Of course.
It's all about the lips. And so so here we go. So a little song about labia. If you would like to hear the entire track, you can fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show and listen to the entire track in its entirety. However, if you'd like to continue on this wonderful journey that has gone quite sideways already, stick around. We're going to play about 20 seconds of it a little later on. You can kind of get a gist of what these guys do. But I do know that you do mainly instrumental music, kind of a funky rock. There's some disco. There's a lot of different influences, but kind of funk, rock, jam music, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's more of a funk fusion, jazz, a little bit of drum and bass, a lot of jam band stuff. We do. Sometimes we'll go on big
Oh my God! Pick one,
explorations.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so much easier to sell yourself if you don't, though.
So does this mean that, like, if I were to go see you live, does that show change quite a bit from show to show?
Every day.
Yeah. So this song that we're going to hear, this is the album cut of it, but when they go to listen to this live, it's going to be at least slightly different, if not significantly different.
Yeah, this is a pretty tame version of what we do in our live show.
Right. Oh, so at the live show, you're just yelling vagina in the whole thing. Wow, I wish they'd really tame this down like the radio version. Just to like, bitches,
Hoes, money.
yes, dicks. Like, they're just a little aggressive.
Lab monkeys. I don't know.
Putting nukes in the ocean. So what can somebody expect if they come and see you live? Because that sounds like it's the medium that somebody should experience you in, right?
Yeah.
Not saying don't buy the album, but
it's
don't
really
buy the album. No. No.
What do you think, Ken?
Well, I mean, you're going to find a lot of surprises with the Ginada Pinata show.
Yeah.
So we'll break out some Outcast and we'll play some Nirvana and Free. Like we take all kinds of cover tunes and play them in different styles. Like we'll play a Cure tune, samba. We'll do we do Love Song Samba, and we'll do Smells Like Teen Spirit and 3 and a couple Outcast tunes.
That's kind of awesome.
We got all kinds of stuff on cue. We're all music nerds.
Yeah.
I would love to hear Nirvana in 3. That sounds
we do
awesome.
it all,
And 3,
man.
4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
We'll just randomly hear a tune on the way to the gig, and someone will write out a chart, and then we'll just whip it out the next week. So
Nice.
you never know
That's
what
amazing.
you're going to get. So, and people really respond to it. I think people really like it.
How long have you guys been together?
Yeah, how long have you been
Oh
together?
my God! Let's see. I joined the group in 2000, and they had already been playing. They had a DJ, keyboard.
It'll be 20 years, I think, this coming spring
That's cool.
when it first started.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. If people want to hear more of the music or find out about shows that are coming up, they can go up to facebook.com/Ginada Pinata. Right?
Yep.
Ginada with the G.
Ginada with a
You got
G.
it.
G-I-N-A-D-A.
Vagina with the G.
All vaginas have a G. It's in the middle there. So without further ado, we're going to challenge.
It's a good spot for the G there.
Yeah, it's a G spot. So different G spot. So you guys love to challenge yourselves musically speaking. What we'd like to do is challenge you on a different wavelength. We're going to take away your instruments for a moment and make you media moguls. You're now going to be editor-in-chief of a brand new news publication.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I know that you've been looking forward to this moment all of your career. It has finally come into fruition. We are your loyal subjects, your reporters. We've gone out and found news from around the web. And in this, what we call the weather report, we're going to try and pitch you some stories. You're going to let us know whether or not they make it in the publication.
Excellent.
All right, Victor, you want to give it a shot?
Sure. So this one, actually, since you said you're from Shepherdstown,
Yeah.
and the whole town is a ghost town, right? Like
Apparently, it just became one over the past 3 years. I'm hearing.
What do you
anyway.
mean just became? The Battle of Antietam was fought like a mile
It's
down
true.
the
It's
road,
dead
so
true. That
everyone
is
who died there
Is a ghost
died
walking
in
in
that battle.
Shepherdstown.
They
lives
had
in
a mile
Shepherdstown.
away. They moved? What do you, they
No, everyone who
congregated?
died in Antietam got or wounded at Antietam got shipped to Shepherdstown.
Yeah, it was the hospital. Yeah.
Every room was a hospital, so I lived there and I found plenty of weird shit happening in my house.
Really?
Nothing quite this weird,
right.
but
What is
the
it?
cause of a mystery toilet flushing. So it would flush continually during the night.
Oh.
And they could not find the answer. They looked through the pipes. They looked at the equipment around the toilet. Turns out to be, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
A snake in the wall.
What?
A snake in the goddamn wall.
That
A snake
would
catcher
bite
was
your
summoned to
butt.
a home. No, in the wall.
Right, but it would crawl up out of the wall and then bite your butt, and I'm not
If it
into
could
that.
crawl out of the wall, I assume it wouldn't continually be flushing the toilet to let them know, hey, let me out.
What?
I've had like footsteps in the attic. My fridge has opened itself and closed itself. Like weird shit happened in my house in Shepherdstown.
Yeah.
The toilet never flushed itself. I feel like that would have been the final straw. And to find out later that it was a fucking snake, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, no. Burn that. Burn the entire bathroom in the house
Right.
that's in. That's amazing to me. So essentially it was continuing to flush. So it was like the eternal flame, but opposite. Right?
He really, really had to go.
Yeah. All right. That's fascinating. So it obviously we know for a fact that if it had been south of the equator, it would have continuously flushed the other direction.
Right.
But the question is it news?
I think it's news. It might even be audio news. We could have a separate podcast
yeah.
with the publication, but only if Sam Jackson would narrate that part.
It would just
Tired
be
of
a
these
podcast.
motherfucking
snakes in the
snakes in the
toilet.
motherfucking wall.
It'd just be an entire podcast of just the toilet flushing. It's still fucking going.
No, that's the State of the Union address.
Excuse me. I'm going to take a shit right here.
It's actually pretty poignant.
behind this podium. The State of the Union is strong. All right, so it's making into the publication.
Yeah, I think we'll take it in there. We'll keep it at page 6 for now and see what
All
comes
right.
down the pike.
All
Page
right.
6 works for me.
You're very brave that you think you're going to have 6 pages of news. That's not double-sided, my friend. All right, I think staying on the theme of toilets, since that seems to have worked so well for Victor, a Norwegian plane had to return to Oslo because of toilet problems. 84 passengers aboard were plumbers. That had to be the most awkward disembarkment ever, right? Because the 84 plumbers had to walk by the one plumber who was going to actually fix it.
The worst plumbers ever.
Right. And he's like, guys, seriously? There's 84 of you. I'm disappointed. Like, now, in their defense, apparently in order to fix the toilet during flight, a plumber would have had to have braved 500-mile-per-hour winds at 3,500 feet since they had to be fixed from the outside. With those conditions, the airline was not willing to risk how much ass crack would be showing.
I was going to say, plumbers tend to be hefty guys. They probably ruined the toilet.
Right? It's probably their fault.
It's the in-flight meal. That's the cause.
The first plumber walked off, and the airline plumber was like, "It was you, wasn't it?" And then the next one, "Holy shit! What? We need to think about this next time we sell tickets."
Right. This plane didn't stand a chance. Why were there so many plumbers on board? What were they like? Flying
was it a
to like a
convention?
festival or something?
It was a whole company going to a convention, which is a weird convention, right? I assume when you go to get into the convention, the line just goes in a circle all the way down. So that's my guess.
The line for the bathroom is constantly like one man trying to use it and then one man to fix it. One man trying to use it and then one man to fix
It's
it.
actually working perfectly well, but one guy's like, "No, I can make this better. We can improve the water flow on this. Give me
Let's
just
put a snake
second."
in the wall.
Yeah. So it is an unfortunate irony, but is it news? Ken, you're in charge. Ken, you're not even near the
I
microphone.
can't even
see
think about this because I just want to read this magazine. I don't want to make decisions on it.
All right.
Well, I don't see why we couldn't keep a page devoted to poop and toilets.
Why not?
Seems,
You've already got page 6 halfway there. All right.
Fancy
yeah,
that.
let's keep it in there for now.
Sounds good.
Fill it up.
1-1. We're
So-
tied. We get a little bit.
I can see it
Yeah.
developing here.
It's a little bit
So
of consternation.
we've all got our favorite restaurant, right? And it's probably our favorite for most of us for the food. Some people like the service and they're insane, but sometimes food is just too good. And I think I discovered the answer as to what restaurant owner arrested after cocaine found in cheese sticks.
These cheese sticks
That's
are so
why
good.
cheese sticks are so good.
Oh my God, they're so good. I'm like, can I get
That's
some
why
more?
cheese sticks are so delicious. They literally have cocaine in them.
Right. I've been here for
Indiana
48
restaurant
hours
owner.
straight.
Right.
Can I have some more cheese sticks?
An Indiana restaurant owner has been arrested on felony charges after a customer found suspected cocaine in their order of cheese sticks. I'm like, just eat the cheese sticks. That sounds amazing.
Right. Why
Not
did you
only
have to
are they
turn them
delicious.
In? You had found a supply. I think what they did is I saw this report and they said that they were actually tipped off because the tips were averaging $400. So that was that
It's
seems
like
high.
you eat this cheese stick and it's pretty good, but I'm gonna eat another cheese and then I'm gonna eat another and then I'm gonna eat another and I feel fantastic. Wow, this is amazing. I gotta go outside right now. I'm gonna do like 100 things. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
I feel fantastic. I'm gonna eat another cheese. Is there any more cheese sticks? I need like 8 more cheese sticks. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. Bye.
I ate 100 cheese sticks and I lost weight. I don't know how that works.
I'm just picturing the most insane Chuck E. Cheese ever.
That's where they need
Kids
to put the
blown out of their
cocaine.
mind.
Cocaine at a Chuck E. Cheese would be amazing to watch. No, I know. Ethically, it's wrong, but it would be hilarious. That ball pit would...
Apparently not in Indiana.
No, that ball pit would be like Thunderdome.
It looks like a game of Hungry Hippos flying around.
Oh, it'd be great.
Wow.
So, yeah, definitely an interesting topping, but is it news?
I think that's definitely news.
Oh, all right.
All right.
That's something
Okay,
you don't
cheese
hear
sticks.
every day.
Cheese sticks that make you want to model.
And just for the record, what's the address on the restaurant?
I always want to model.
They got caught. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Dang it. If we'd only known beforehand. All right. Let's see how this one goes off. I think that I'm doing good sticking with themes, right? In the theme of cocaine. A Maryville, Kentucky or Tennessee man flips his truck 5 times after, quote unquote, Jesus advised him to let go of the wheel. Yeah.
Cocaine.
Yeah. According to Tennessee Highway Patrol, Chad O. England, who's 33, was traveling on I-90 north through Sullivan County and was arrested after flipping his truck 5 times because, in his words, Jesus was calling him and advised him to let go of the wheel. Jesus apparently also throws one hell of a party because in England's truck, they found 6 grams of marijuana, a 1/6 of a gram of cocaine, a pipe, rolling papers, 3/4 a bottle of Crown Royal, a small empty bottle of Crown Royal, and several cans used for huffing. Among other charges. Yeah. No, he was all in.
He really was.
Hey, if you're gonna party like Jesus wants you to, I feel like this guy did it right.
Right. Jesus is like, huff, 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 huff. So among other charges, he was also charged with DUI, which is bullshit because it's quite obvious that Jesus had the wheel. So
Divinely under the influence.
I'm just saying he wasn't driving under the influence. He happened to be in a car that was going very fast under the influence, but driving he'd pretty much given up on.
He probably wasn't even on the road, so it's not even a danger to anybody.
Right, exactly.
He was in his backyard.
Right. I mean, essentially what he was doing is illegally hunting with a car, right? Because he's probably hit a deer or something. So there you go. If you ever want to get in touch with Jesus, we now have the recipe. Gentlemen, is it news?
Only because he was huffing.
If
That's page 7.
Yeah, if you call your publication the Huffington Post, I'm going to give you so much credit. All right, so back to you, Victor.
All right. I know you guys are musicians. You know pain. You know pain.
Whoa, that took a jump.
But here we go.
What kind of musicians do you think they are?
Keith, I need you to focus right now.
Okay.
This is serious. This is serious.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize that our podcast was so serious.
Man breaks Guinness World Record by walking across 120 feet of... What's the most painful thing you've ever walked across?
Trump.
No. Legos.
Oh,
120
God!
feet of loose Lego bricks.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
The previous record was 85 feet.
Yeah.
He went to 120 feet.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is bullshit because stepping on one Lego is the single most painful thing in the whole world. As soon as you have 2, reduced by half. I'm not impressed.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if he had stepped on one Lego 120 times, he probably would have died, but he'd have set the record. I'm not impressed.
My take on this is that when you go to break that record, it should be by surprise. Like you shouldn't be able to prepare. They should just line it up outside your front door, and you're just like, all right, honey, I'll see you later. Oh God, oh gee, oh fuck, it's still going. How is it this long? Who the hell put these here?
120 feet later.
Right, and then they're like, good job, nicely done. Like I cannot be here right now. My feet are bleeding.
Nah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe it. I have to see it.
So it is.
There's no video.
No video. Oh,
no video.
Yeah.
I would like you to publish this and just calling them out on their bullshit because it's not possible.
I want them to start trying to do it in different ways. So the length is obviously what they did here. Maybe next time they go for depth, or they're like, it's Legos.
Step in just like buckets of Legos for 120 feet.
Yeah.
Like you're mashing grapes for wine.
Yeah. Or like scalding hot Legos, or I don't know.
From there on in, you roll. You don't walk, you roll through.
Yeah,
them,
exactly. There has to be something. So it's a brand new world record. Is it news?
They're collaborating.
It's tough call.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
you're taking this way too seriously.
I'm of the theory that if it had been Duplos, maybe, because Duplos hurt like hell. They're the giant version. My wife and I have stepped on so many Duplos. That's crushing. You don't get a second try. You fall straight down after the first one. It's awful.
They amputate after that.
Just hear screams. All right, so making it in.
I'm going to say no. I think that's the first cut. If they produced the video, maybe.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Brutal.
Yeah, I think I'm going to win this week now, but I've got one left just to see if I pull out even further.
Oh, we're out of time.
No,
That's too bad. Let's move on.
This is pretty quick. So
this is what happens when Kate's in charge of the stingers.
Suspected serial killer landscaper may have buried victims in clients' gardens, police say. So Bruce MacArthur, a landscaper, has been charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder when police continue to turn up bodies in backyard gardens and planters of his clients. Or, hear me out, there are 5 murderers in Toronto who are conspiring together to hire MacArthur as their landscaper so they can pin it on him. It could go either way. I'm just saying, it's really compelling if we go the other direction.
I'm down, Keith. I will totally. You know what? Call Johnny. Let's do this. Let's defend this motherfucker.
Is it one man or is it all of you people? So is it news?
I think you've got a point. I mean, it could be like that. So
yeah,
leave it open ended.
Conspiracy theory.
2-pager.
Mm-hmm. Two-page.
Time to bring some attention to this shit.
Tune in next week.
All right, that's it, everybody. It looks like this week I have an overwhelming win. I believe it looks.
And you're the worst. Continue to be, and will always forever be the worst.
I have 3-2. So now the big question comes to mind here. People are going to want to read this magazine because it's so well documented and reported on. What is the name of your brand new publication?
I'm kind of feeling the Plumber's Cocaine Chronicles.
Plumber's Cooking Chronicles. Okay.
That's a really specific audience.
So what you're saying is like food before and after.
Oh no, the Plumber's Cocaine Chronicles.
All right. We know it. So we know it really stuck with them. Plumbers and cocaine. That was out of all those stories. We had a murderer. They're like, cocaine, plumbers. Those are the important bits.
I'm still thinking about Duplos, actually.
The brain.
Right. So
sorry to bring up a traumatic memory, man.
Go check your local newsstands for the the Plumber Cocaine Chronicles. I'm sure it will fly off shelves, and then they'll want another and another and another and another. So,
is that a cocaine joke?
It is a cocaine joke. Speaking of things I want another and another of, we have a track from Ginada Pinata that we're going to share with you, and this is a world premiere of a track that has never been played on a podcast or a radio station or anything other than this show because we're that important. I know that you had a lot of offers from people who wanted to play this track, and you said, no, we're saving it for another wasted hour.
We did.
Because of the clout that comes along with that. And we appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
So the song is called Inner Outer, right?
Got it.
Tell us a little bit about it. What inspired that name? What was the inspiration behind this track?
This tune's a tone row. It's 12 tones, so we took all 12 tones of music and scrambled them up and tried to make a melody out of all of them. I know.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
It's about vagina.
Yeah. So what is a tone row? Because your music is actually fairly intellectual. So the people who are going to enjoy it are people who have a sense of kind of what that theory is. So tell us a little bit. What does that entail?
It's like an exercise. You take 12 chromatic tones of music and you scramble them up and try to make a melody out of them. So most of the 3 different parts of this tune are all tone rows.
Okay.
So in our own little smart way, that's
So
we did with that.
Not to be, a stickler, but lots of the people that listen to this podcast are not musicians.
Right.
Like myself, I am a drummer and a vocalist, so I never learned anything about music.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, they
I
can
don't know
all
what that
fuck
means.
off. We're doing music stuff now.
No, but
So
really,
what
like a lot
what
of
he's
people might
saying
not know
is-
what that means.
Yeah, what he's saying is if you play a note on an instrument and then you play essentially the next note up, exactly the next note. So on a piano, you'd either go to the next white key or black key, whatever the next key is. If you just keep going up and you do that 12 times, you would have a tone row, right? And then you take those and you mix those up to make an actual melody.
It's a game.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's very cool. So
And it sounds like Primus.
Primus,
Yeah, it sounds like Primus when you do it. So
If you like bands like
Autobots transform and roll out.
not Optimus Primus, but
My bad.
so if
bad.
you like bands like Tool or Perfect Circle, they do things like this sometimes. Dream Theater, things that are a little bit more technical like that.
Right.
I think your take on it's a little more playful than some of those other bands. So let's take a listen so that people can get a sense of what that entails. So this is from their brand new self-titled album, Ginada Pinata. This song
Never before heard.
Yes. This is the song Inner Outer. So I've
A
used
little
this
bit
term.
of dissonance there. It's kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's this tone row is kind of what brings that kind of unusual sound to the music, and I use this term I think of it as a compliment, and I've used it a few times for guests that have come in here. This music is more challenging, right? It's something that when you listen to it, it doesn't just kind of roll off the ear, and it's not pop music. It's something that you have to like kind of really listen to and like dissect a little bit and go, oh, that's what's going on here.
It's a little Jean-Luc Ponty-ish.
Oh,
Yeah, right. There's
yeah.
a little Mahavishnu in it, definitely.
Yeah. Is that what you guys are going for? Is to kind of a little bit more thinking when it comes to the music that you're creating?
Yeah, I think you have to understand the jazz tradition when you're listening to us. So you have to understand that there's a melody. And
Yeah,
then
there's a lot of clever little dips and dabs in there that were pretty. Like you gotta pick them out. I have to listen to that particular clip probably 48 times to pick out what you guys heard, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
It's dense. There's a density to it where you get to keep digging on what's happening in that moment. So that's very cool. How did you get to the name Inny Outy, Inner Outer for that particular song?
He just ruined everything.
Just because it goes, I guess, just because if you look at the way the line moves, it goes in and out. So if you look at the way it works on guitar, it's sort of like one line on one string goes one direction and the other line goes the other direction. So,
Gotcha.
it
creates this
goes
shape.
opposite. Yeah.
So it's interesting because you get a lot of people who talk about kind of the emotion of a song or like a moment in time that inspired that song. So it's, Mother's Flowers or something like that. What you really took is kind of the architecture of that song, like what it looks like being played is inner outer.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, that's what our band does is we put the instruments first. I mean, when I think when all of us are playing the guitar or the bass or the piano or the drums, they're first. And we're like, I think we all picture our bodies way in the distance. Like the instrument is up front.
Yeah.
And we don't matter. Like
Gotcha.
we're, at least that's the way I feel it.
Cool.
I think everybody shares that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, we kind of each coalesce around each other. It's about fitting into the sound and keeping, especially this tune Ken wrote. So we had this tone row to work with. And so basically Ken brought it into us and the rest of us spent about a month trying to figure out how to play it. It's next to impossible to play on bass because the stretch at the end is giant. I mean, you're stretching from an F to a D. So that's a massive first fret to fifth fret stretch. Mm-hmm. And on
a bass, the frets are like 3 inches
yeah,
wide.
and I play an 83 double P Fender, so they're massive. Like it was, and it's the only way to play it. There's no other way to play it. So yeah, but like Ken was saying,
you can use your face.
Yeah, exactly. My nose.
When you play that note, do you just like secretly just whisper like "fuck you"? Fuck you. Everything you do.
I
God
subtly
damn it, you
grimace. I grimace subtly.
And he sees you doing it, and he's like, "I totally got you. I got you so bad. Look at you. Oh, you're in so much pain. I win." Now you have to make like a bass tune that when he goes to play, it's just fucking terrible.
I've tried. He can play everything I write. It doesn't work.
I hate people who are good at things, like people with like talent. But the worst kind of person.
Oh, yeah.
Not the talented person. The worst kind of person is a person who's pretty good, but like dedicates the time and energy to get good at something. Mm-hmm. That's, fuck those people. Oh, God. Those people, I play 15 instruments because I tried hard on each one. Shut up. All right, I'm going home, tired, and I'm not good at first, and I'm done.
So the good news is we've prevented that from happening here on this show. Because in our next segment, which we like to call Please God, Just Please Get One Right, we have taken away any ability for you to actually practice. And you are just basically going to rely on luck, sheer luck, and maybe happenstance on being able to get some of these things correctly guessed. So,
all right.
If you've listened to the show before, what we've done is this is our quiz show that we've created. The guest before you actually picked your theme for today. So,
now, you guys listened to the last show that before, when it was released, thinking that you could be sly and study. Mm-hmm. However, the show that picks your topic was released today.
So yeah, you can thank Lynette Tobin from Pangea.
Nice try.
Yes. This will actually be out Thursday. She has picked the most lovely of all of the categories.
Vaginas.
Basically. Flowers. So depends on the artist. Without further ado, we're running a little behind. So let me jump in here and see if we can get it. Again, our goal here, don't feel too shy or upset by it. We're literally seeing if you can get one of these right.
All right.
If you do, you'll each get a prize from
a box of fun.
Oh, wait.
Uncle Archie's box of fun.
They'll each get one?
Sure.
Do they each have to get a question right?
Oh, maybe. We'll do one prize, and if they get a second one, we'll get a second prize.
Fair. All right. Deal.
Deal. All right. I will start.
Open it up.
Titan Arum are the world's largest flower with a single bloom growing to the size of a small tree. However, due to another unusual feature, what are these flowers commonly referred to as?
They smell funny.
Are they the ding dong flower?
The vagina flower, correct? Yes.
Sold.
No, it is not the ding dong flower. Actually, the corpse flower. So when it blooms, it only smells like rotting meat.
Right. I've heard of those. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that it blooms, but it's about 10 as long. It gets as wide as 10 feet and as tall as 10 feet. This one single bloom, and it smells like somebody died and is rotting.
I think they had one at the National Arboretum.
They did.
Yeah. I remember because people flocked to smell this nasty thing.
Yeah,
there were hundreds of people there.
I think they have
it's like that Geico commercial. Hey, this tastes like chutney and burnt hair. You got to try it.
Yeah. No.
It smells like rotting meat. You got to come experience it.
Yeah. And so I think it only like actually blooms once every 3 years or something.
Oh, wow.
And so it's pretty rare for people to go see and smell it. But unfortunately, not the ding dong flower. So we'll have to move on. Victor.
All righty, let's see here. Pulling up the questions.
You had time to do that. I said there already one question. Jesus Christ.
I'll fight you. Which flower is referred to as the queen of the tropics?
Oh,
5,
this is so
4,
bad.
3,
Come on,
Passion
guys.
flower.
Passion flower. Oh, that's a really good guess.
But wrong.
Busboy?
Birds of Paradise.
It was the ding dong.
It was not the ding dong.
Okay.
Ding dong
Second
dong.
guess? Anything? The hibiscus flower.
I was
Hibiscus.
close. I
The
was
flower
close.
of Puerto Rico.
I was close.
The hibiscus flower.
Yeah, that's the state flower of Hawaii.
Yeah. Fuck Hawaii.
There you
They're
go.
way too far from the tropics.
Did you know that? Yeah, I just made it up too.
It's also the state flower. It's actually the state flower of Puerto Rico, although we're not a
Whatever.
state flower, so I didn't use those words.
Yeah, because they're not a state. And they have no power. So, anyhow,
That's a pun for those of you who don't know, and I'm really mad.
the tallest measured sunflower was grown in 1986. Within 1 foot, how tall was it?
Let's go for 19 feet.
No! Oh, you thought he had it too. You were really
I
certain.
was really sure he had that heat.
No, 25
Oh man.
and 5
Was
and
it
a
a
half
was it a
inches.
Russian mammoth? Do you know what kind of sunflower it was?
It was a sunflower.
Sunflowers.
That's, yeah, I don't know. I assume probably a Russian mammoth because that sounds big.
It sounds big.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but I don't give a shit about flowers. So I researched this as little as I could.
Russian mammoths, on the other hand.
Yes.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
You should be able to get this by the names of almost 60% of fresh cut flowers are grown in which U.S. state?
We're not going to get one right.
They're already
3,
throwing in the towel.
2.
Oh, fuck this game. This is stupid. Why would anyone play
on.
this game?
I'm going with either Florida or California.
Well, pick one.
Florida's the sunshine state, right? Is it?
It is and in Florida in Spanish means
Oh yeah,
flowered,
right. Got you. Yeah.
or flowery way.
Yeah, so?
It's California.
It's son of a.
Sorry, guys. You should know everything's
You're
in
so
California.
California. Is Fornia also French for...
No,
No.
you're stupid and
Okay.
ignorant, and you should go home.
I don't know. It's probably something. All right, last chance.
No, I got one more.
Oh,
That
you
was 2 questions from me. This is your number 3 for you.
Oh, okay. This is 3 for me. All right. Last chance from me then.
All right.
Then you'll probably get a bullshit question from Victor.
Now we're gonna get
'cause
tricked again.
He
Yeah, I
always
don't know.
does this. All right. In 1636, very popular year, this flower was the 4th leading exported product of the Netherlands after gin, herrings, and cheese. They were particularly valuable if they were infected with a strain of the mosaic virus.
I'm going for tulip.
That's it! They won! You got one right! Yeah, nicely done! See, you
Look
didn't
at
even
you
think it
guys.
was possible.
The
He's
Dutch are my
really
people.
smart. He's really smart. Really smart.
Terrible at base, but man, he's
Nice.
They keep me
All
around
right.
for my tulip knowledge.
Now, let's see if both of you get a prize. Are you
Okay.
ready?
All right.
What type of flower did the Huns get compared to as they popped out of the snow in Disney's Mulan? Come on.
Smart. Disney's
You
Mulan,
have
they
kids.
pop out and they say, hey, look at those Huns.
Did you see those Huns?
They
They
look-
popped out of the snow like
What is
daisies.
daisies?
Excuse me. Oh my God, they got it.
Why
daisies.
do you ruin this every time,
I knew they would
Victor?
get it.
Victor, they had already gotten one right. God damn it.
What?
Don't give them the answers.
I didn't give them the
You
answer.
did.
I had
I
something
heard
in my
you cough
throat.
the answer. And the correct answer should have been poppies because they popped out of the snow. Anyhow,
No, they popped out of the snow like daisies. It's you haven't seen Mulan. You need to watch Mulan.
all
I'm
right.
disappointed in all
Each of
three
you
of
get
you.
a prize from
Oh, my.
Uncle Archie's
All right,
Box
yeah.
of Fun. Feel free to grab one of those.
Do we get to open it and tell
Yeah,
everyone
open
what
it now
is?
because it makes tons of noise, which is super good. Everyone's gonna feel like that their eardrums are right now
Musicians, they
crackling.
both instinctually held the
Yeah, let
rappers
us
up
know
to the
what you got.
microphone.
I've gotten like a little Tommy gun water cannon here.
Oh, okay. You got a water pistol that could be brought onto an airplane
Yeah.
because it's small enough to be smuggled.
Or used to discipline your children.
What did you get, Busboy?
I got a tic-tac-toe game,
A tic-tac-toe game.
which I'm pretty sure I'll win if I go first.
Yeah, we'll play that on the way home while you're driving.
While we're driving. Let Jesus take the wheel. Trust me, it works out.
He'll take it.
Awesome. So last piece that you have to handle right now, which is maybe even more important than the the quiz itself, somebody saddled you with the topic of flowers, which we know that Gary Busey was pretty certain we weren't actually going to be able to score a single win, but you got 2, one because of cheating.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What hell would you like to pass upon your next guest?
Oh, this is
What
fun.
special
What should we do?
torture would you like them to have to deal with?
Tone row sounds good.
Tone row. I'm not sure I
wow.
can think of 6 questions about a tone row. Maybe a little more general
So
than
you need
tone
a
row.
general topic.
Yeah, slightly more general, maybe.
I mean, it doesn't have to be about a general, but
Right. I would go with jazz would be perfectly
General.
acceptable.
General so's chicken. How about poultry?
Poultry.
Poultry.
Okay.
Ooh.
I saw your
Poultry.
Thought, your
See
thought
what I'm
pattern
going
there.
for?
Interesting.
Going for the general.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Or car insurance.
No, we're going with poultry.
Car
We're
insurance
so going with poultry.
sounds so much more tedious. I don't. It's up to you guys. What do you
For
want to
the
know?
sake of my research,
Poultry's
please
damn
go with
interesting.
poultry.
I don't care who you are.
I don't know.
All right, poultry. It is. We will. We will torture the next guest on our show
Excellent.
with 6 questions about poultry, and we will, please God, hope that they get 1 right.
Just a poultry 6 question.
A poultry 6 questions
I
about
hate
about-
all of you so hard.
About
it
poultry-
actually hurts physically.
about poultry poetry. We'll be doing
There we go.
poems about chickens, which is poultry
Yeah,
poetry.
right.
I take comfort that you're all gonna die one day. Stop it.
I would like an emu sonnet, please.
I hope they don't chicken out.
Ah!
All
Well,
right,
they won't know any of the
That's
answers.
Another wasted hour, 45 minutes. I'm gone. I'm leaving. We're breaking up with both of you.
Well, just like you guys, though, they won't know any of the answers ahead of time, so they're going to have to wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, break a leg. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my goodness. So, but
You got me
you'll know
freaking
their-
out like a headless chicken over here.
Yes. You'll know their pain. You've been through it already, so you'll know what they'll go through. It'll be like birds of a feather. And
Why? Why do these things only happen to me?
You're going to beak my interest.
Oh. All right. So we're right now stealing all of Victor's patience. And so we need to continue on. And with this section, we're going to find out a little bit more about you guys besides your love of poultry puns. This is a segment called Near and Far.
Again? Far! See? That's what it's all about. They understand?
You guys understand. That's what it's all about. So we need 2 stories. You can start with near or far. Where would you like to get started at?
What do you want to start with?
I think we should go with far.
Oh, far's a good one.
Yeah.
Like your microphone?
Low blow. That's a burn. Sick burn. Call the burn unit. Get
Oh,
these
my
bitches some
goodness.
ice.
I told you I was going to call you out on it. It just happens.
Shame on me. I know.
All right, far it is. So what has happened to you guys out on your adventures? Tell us a little bit about what your band is like out on the road.
Well, it's usually very interesting. We're all clowns.
Well, you
pretty
were
much.
saying
we have
you
a
were
lot
just
of fun together.
You were joking all the way here just for this interview.
Oh,
So
we crack ourselves up. It's so we're going to a festival in the middle of West Virginia, outside of Morgantown, and
My man.
we're
West Virginia is kind of my jam. I love West Virginia.
Yeah, me too. I'm from there. We
he's a mountain mama.
yeah.
I studied
Through
there.
and through?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So normally we're quite we're usually punctual. A lot of times we're rushing to gigs to get there on time.
Sure.
This was the one time, God, we left. I think we had 4 or 5 hours to spare, and we were just going to get
wow.
there and relax, and everything was going to be wonderful. And so we all go out in a caravan, and our drummer Jesse is leading the way, and he's got his GPS all set up, and we pull off to get some gas right outside of the exit for the highway.
Were you in
where
love
we
with
need
his
to get off.
girlfriend?
Yeah, and unbeknownst to us, Jesse's GPS resets the route for the quickest way. And he had no idea. We had no idea. So we just turn off on this dirt road and start driving. This festival is at the top of the mountain. I don't know if you've ever been into the middle of West Virginia, but there is some interesting road work in parts.
Oh, sure.
So we're driving, and it's a dirt road. It's really scenic. It's nice. It's kicking up a lot of dust, so everyone's rolling up their windows because we start choking, and we're putting the circulation on for the vents. And it gets further and further. It gets a bit more rocky, a bit more jumpy, and then the switchbacks start, and then there are seriously fucking stones in the middle of the road that we're going over and up and up and up.
You're
and up.
off-roading at this point.
Ken's got a brand new car.
Yeah.
Our keyboardist Sam had just bought his car that week, and it was. I can't even describe it. Like, and the whole time I'm indignant because in my head I'm conjuring up the West Virginia cliche of deliverance, and I'm like, don't think of this is awful. Don't think about that.
No, don't.
And
it could
so
be
we're
pleasant.
going, and we
Just
finally have to stop and say, we can't go any far. And Jesse's forever the optimist. He's like, all we got to do is get up over here. We just got to do this, and we'll get to the gig. I can feel it. It's right up here. We couldn't get up. Jesse got up over top of it, and my car got up over it, and nobody else could get there. So we turned around and went back. And all in all, I think it took us 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours to get in and out and go back around and find the front. And we finally get to the place, and we're telling, I believe, Jesse's wife, Shannon, her cousin ran the festival, and we were telling him about where we had come up and where we had stopped and how bad it was. We crossed this little bridge, and he said, you were literally, 300 feet from the back of the property.
Oh,
after we were sure we were going to die. I mean, it was to a point that you're looking, and it's like, we're not going to get out of here. And like, I got to call my wife and tell her I love her. This is going to be the end.
And you guys turned around.
And then we turned around and went back.
Oh,
so
man.
Hopefully we'll get booked again this summer because we're taking that way, and we will conquer it this time and make it through. And there was one guy that made it through that we met at the festival, and he told us the whole story.
You should. This time you have to bring a monster truck.
That's what we had. There was a guy that literally was in a monster truck driving the other way back, the other way, looking at it, and he's just shaking his head, looking at us.
Don't do that.
It was that was an interesting trip. It was really fun. But
so you guys caravan, you don't have like a band van that everybody gets into?
Well, that time we had driven separately.
Okay.
Because there were a bunch of people going with us. Normally we'll all pile into a car if we can. We try to get into Sam's minivan, and we'll cram all of the gear in, and it barely fits. And then it's fun. It's a nice ride, but it's
how
fun
you
to
know you're a
caravan too, 'cause
musician.
we have a good time.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're a musician. You pack in $5,000 worth of gear in a $500 car to drive 50 miles to get paid $50.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the life. Although I need you to promise me something. If as a band you end up getting a van that like you go touring in, I need you to name it the Ken Bussy.
Yeah. Oh, all day.
Right.
And we're gonna jack it really high up
Yeah.
and get big tires so we can get through some of these back roads.
I think that would be brilliant. You need a monster van. That would be killer. It'd be like Gravedigger.
Sometimes I stop and I think, why do I hate everything so much? And then
Yeah.
I remember moments like these.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it'd be awesome. I did a show out in West Virginia once that didn't rival that in terms of the roads, but when we got there, granted we had known a little bit ahead of time, but it was one of the most memorable shows we ever did because it was at a nudist colony in West Virginia.
Ooh, was it in Papa? Do you know?
Yeah,
you remember? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Dangerous.
That's right down from us.
That's where we did it. We got on Craigslist. They were like, "It's a paid show," and I was like, "Yeah, I want to do it." And they were like, "Yeah, it pays like $200." I was like, "I'm in." And they were like, "They're all going to be naked." I was like, "All right." Like,
you're not going to be surprised by this, but I have a good friend who's her husband's mother runs that place.
nice. Yeah. Well, my first question was like, "Do I have to be naked?" And then they were like, "No," and I was like, "Sure, whatever." But
Why would you? When do you get to play naked?
Right. Well, every day in my basement. Right now, we're doing a podcast with no pants on.
We didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
listeners, I have the most defeated look on my face.
My favorite
because
moment.
I would so perform naked if it was legal.
My favorite moment I think ever from doing shows came from that show, because do you know how, I don't know if you guys, do you have merchandise and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
So you know how like in between songs you'll be like, hey, thanks everybody, this is a song called da, da, da. Like, hey, if you really like what you're hearing, like this is our album and stuff like that, and you end up kind of getting a patter that it's almost robotic, right? You just know the thing to say, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, thanks for listening to us, if you enjoyed what we're hearing, we have albums over here. We have stickers, t-shirts. You know what? Fuck the t-shirts. I don't even know why we brought those. And, like, it just came out, and I was like, nope, that's not going to sell. Not here. Why did I even say that? All right, so Near. How about Near? What's something that's happened close to home?
Should we talk about the new rehearsal setup?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some of that?
Yeah, we have a sweet new rehearsal setup. Jesse got an interface, so we all rehearse, and this is not exciting at all.
We'll make it exciting.
To listen
Oh my
to,
gosh,
but
I'm so super pumped for a not exciting story.
We listen through headphones and record the rehearsal.
Is this the jam bass thing? Is that it?
No, it's through like a rehearsal. It runs into his laptop, so we rehearse and we record it, and then we like rearrange everything.
Yeah. But that's kind of cool, because then what you can do is the creative process doesn't stop when you stop playing. You can now go listen to it and manipulate like what was happening.
Yeah, and we spent the better part of 15 years, coming up with the greatest stuff we'd ever heard for 20 minutes, and then we'd forget about it for a year, and maybe if we were lucky, we'd remember something. And now it's great because it's all there. We can listen to it.
Yeah.
And the way we have it set up, everything's running through the heads. We don't bring our cabs. So the instruments, there's no noise. It's just Jesse's drums.
That's not true.
There
is noise, and it's probably really creepy.
It sounds like a really tiny string band with a big drum set. Yeah.
And like you're all jamming out. If somebody were to walk in, it would just sound like the most pathetic thing. Right? It's like ding, 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 and just the sounds of keyboard keys.
Yeah, and it lets us get a really clean drum tone. So we basically have a studio sound from the rehearsal. But the big part is Jesse and I live in the same neighborhood. We're pretty much next door neighbors. If I jump over the house in front of me, I land in his front yard.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we've been the bane of the neighborhood for, at least since 2012 or 2014 when I moved there.
That's right, because you keep climbing over people's houses.
We've given our neighbors a break, and it seems like
y'all are rude.
It's worn off on them pretty good. They're talking
honest,
to us again.
To be honest, the drums are probably the loudest bit, right? I mean,
well, I played with a Mesa Walkabout Scout, and I don't know if you know bass gear, but it has a 12-inch downward aiming sub that will shake a foundation of a home.
Yeah,
and so cinder blocks resonate pretty well. It turns out.
So you were basically trying your best to kind of set off a Richter scale somewhere, and people were trying to eat dinner as like their salt shaker was scooting across the table.
Yeah, I was just trying to reproduce the brown note as people were getting ready for bed.
So the brown note, for those of you who don't know, is the exact frequency that you can produce that will make somebody shit their pants.
Right. And that is also what we use here for the entire podcast underneath our voices. That's how we come up with all of this shit. It's just,
don't make it weird, y'all. Don't make it weird.
It's going to be
it hasn't gotten weird.
Right. Weird is all we know. That's our wheelhouse. That's all we've got going for us. If we don't make it weird, we're going to make it silent. There's nothing beyond that. All right, so that's good. So now you're not pissing off your neighbors, which is what we hope to do. That's why we distribute all of our podcasts online and not out through a bullhorn. Right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. So thank you so much for Ginada Pinata for joining us here on Another Waste Hour. Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. You've got some shows coming up in the summertime. We don't have all those dates, but remember Inner Outer and their new album, Ginada Pinata, is available. Go check them out at facebook.com, Ginada Pinata with a G like vagina. Also this week, Saturday, February 10th, Turtle Recalls at Whitlow's on Wilson in Arlington, Virginia. Please like, post, follow us, retweet us, and share the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Do not forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. Thanks to Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Pigmento Records, Alchemical Records, and Engineer Adam for all their contributions. We can't do this without you guys as well. Thanks most of all to Ginada Pinata for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.